Hey, everybody, welcome to the postgame show. The final, the Mavericks outscored the Sacramento Kings 54-40 in the second half. They come from behind and they win 100-98. Here's the bottom line. If you're going to have Russell Westbrook in the game at the end of the game, then this is what's going to happen. I mean, if he's got the ball in his hands and you're thinking that he's going to take a three-pointer in the most crucial possession of the game when he's got Zach LaVine open to his right, you're going to lose. I mean, I'm sorry. You can't have Russell Westbrook taking the final shot of the game in the biggest possession of the game. Okay? You just can't. Can't happen. I mean, we see it almost every single night. See it almost every night. I know the guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I get all of that. You know? But, I like the way the Kings competed tonight. But they get outscored 54-40 in the second half. But how many times do we come on the postgame show? Jerry, thanks for staying up late for us. We come on the postgame show and talk about a pivotal possession in the game where the Kings don't really get a quality shot, and I think that's what happened again tonight. Jerry, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I agree totally. I mean, it's one of those things that I thought, Dallas plays pretty good defense, but offensively, I thought they were just terrible, to be honest. Their ball handling and stuff, but the Kings had pretty much control of the game. As we pointed out several times, the last few minutes. I mean, DeRozan made some awfully good shots, to keep them ahead or keep them right there until the end. And as you pointed out, I mean, when you really need a good shot, they couldn't get one. I mean, really DeRozan took a very forced shot, and they were lucky to get another shot at it. So, it's really a disappointing loss because, as you said,
Sure
the effort was there. And there's no doubt they played really hard, and I thought the Kings were sloppy with the ball as well. Not compared to the Mavs, but they were sloppy too.
All right, here's two key stats for you. 3-point shooting for Sacramento tonight, 9 of 31 for 29%. Only 17 free throw attempts. They only made 11 for 65%. And one of your very best 3-point shooters and one of your very best free throw shooters, once again, doesn't get on the floor in Malik Monk, and you don't score 100 points. So I'm going to say this because I sound like a broken record. I'm at a loss for words. Is this team, do they give a damn? Are they really trying to win, or are they not trying to win? Because it seems to me they're trying to win when you have DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the floor at the end of the game. But when you don't even put Malik Monk in, and you can't put the ball in the ocean standing on the bow of a cruise ship, and you can't make free throws, and you don't have Monk in the game, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say, Jerry.
I don't either on that. I mean, because, Monk is a young player.
27.
Monk's a young player. I mean, he's got probably his best 5 or 6 years ahead. So he can fit into any rebuild. If you're, I don't think there's any logic, honestly, that you can come up with not to play Malik Monk, who, as we know, is really a clutch guy as well. And so.
Well, I'd much rather have him on the floor at the end of the game than Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. But, if you're really trying to win the game, you got to have Malik Monk on the floor at the end of the game. Now, I wouldn't put him on tonight when he has been sitting for 47 minutes. But the point is he shouldn't be sitting for 47 minutes.
No, clearly he's a guy, he's one of your 4 or 5 best players on this team. He just is. Certainly with Murray and Sabonis still out, he might be your 3rd or 4th best. Your 3rd best. Anyway, there's no words really, other than just we don't want to play him, I guess. I don't know of anything else, because he clearly, talent-wise, should be on the floor ahead of several guys.
I thought Max Reynolds did himself well tonight against Anthony Davis. I like the growth of him in his first year.
Yeah, me too. I thought this would be a good test for him. And, not just going against Davis, but Gafford is a very physical player. And as you said, I thought he acquitted himself well. I thought Cardwell did too.
Yep.
The young guy is he's a ballsy young guy.
Yep.
I don't know just what his future is, but he rebounds per minute, and he'll protect the rim, and he's not scared of the play. But to your point, yeah, Reynolds, I just there's something there. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he was kind of doubled up with size, and he still is able to be productive.
And then we get to Nick Clifford. Again, he played 14 minutes in this game. I'd like to see the minutes go up, but in his 14 minutes, he's not really doing that much. 3 points.
Got to do a little more. You know, it's one of those things. He's almost blending into a fault. I mean, he's really not hurting the team like he was maybe earlier in the year a little bit, but he's not helping as much as he should, and I think could. I mean, he doesn't look like he's having any trouble doing things, but he's just kind of letting. And there again, I think with the veterans out there, he's kind of conceding opportunities to Westbrook and DeRozan and those guys and Levine and fitting into a fault.
Yeah, Jerry Cooper Flagg just turned 19. He's going to be the real freaking deal, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And the moment's not too big for him. Obviously, you can see as he learns, his shooting is a little spotty. Yeah, but he's going to get to be a good shooter. I've compared him, and I think he's kind of another 24, 25 to 20, 25, 26 version of Scottie Pippen.
Wow.
I think he's better. He's better as a rookie than Scottie was, and better for his age than Scottie was, because Scottie didn't come until he's older. But I mean, his game is very similar. He's just a complete player. I mean, Pippen like Flagg does. I mean, he gets you 20 points and you don't notice his points much. He just gets them, plus rebounds and assists, and like you say, 19, and he'll guard you.
Yep. Jerry, the Kings are home for most of the month. They have a lot of home games. To me, this is a perfect opportunity to get Nick Clifford some work in the G League.
Exactly. Yeah, get him down there, get him playing, get Carter back down there if you're not going to get him on the floor. Yep. That's good competition. And, it's like the kid Williams, that made the big shot for Dallas. I mean, he spent a couple of years in the G League. And if you're not gonna play, get them down there that you can. That's we always talk about development. There's more development that goes there by playing than sitting on the bench.
How are you going to get him on the floor when the coach decides to play Russell Westbrook 30+ minutes every night? Zach LaVine playing 37 minutes. I mean, like how's Devin Carter ever going to get on the floor? He's not. I mean, it's a broken record, but I mean, there's only 48 minutes in the game, correct?
Yeah. There's 240 minutes for everybody.
Yeah.
The only way you get them on the floor, honestly, is to take minutes away from those guys.
Right.
Simple. I mean, you don't have to bench them totally, but really with those guys, I wouldn't think you'd have a problem explaining. Okay, instead of being 35-minute guys, you're going to be 20-minute guys.
Yeah. And, are you winning with those guys? The answer to that question is no. So reduce your minutes and let's go another direction, huh?
I was just thinking of something just a while ago. It's like the best player on the floor for Dallas was 19. The best player on the floor for the Kings was 37. So, I mean, if you needed something else to be depressed about, that might be it.
Hey, on that note, I'm going to say goodnight to you. I know it's way past your bedtime. Thanks for staying up with us.
Well, I got my jammy tops on, so I'm ready, buddy.
I appreciate that. And when you leave me with the words of wisdom that you just did, there's nothing else that you could say tonight that would surpass that. So I'm not going to keep you on. Okay.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, take care. Hey, see what happens the next game. And there's Ryno. I know he's ready to bring some A-game stuff.
See you, Jerry.
Hey, Jer. Have a great night. Thanks for staying up.
How about that? How about that, Ryno? That the Mavericks' best player on the floor is 19, and the Kings' best player on the floor is 37, and that should tell you all you need to know. Oh my gosh! Wow.
I mean, should I just pack it in? Should we just end it there, Grant?
Yeah, pretty much. Because again, I said this before you came on. If you're going to have critical possessions and you're going to keep Russell Westbrook on the floor, you're not going to win a lot of games. I'm just sorry. And so what happens tonight? The Kings shoot a dismal percentage from three. All right, we got the numbers right here, okay? I talked about this before you came on. 9 of 31 for 29%. Free throws, only 17 attempts. You made 11 for 66%. And one of your very best three-point shooters and one of your very best men from the line, Malik Monk, doesn't get onto the floor. Again, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, going into the third quarter, the Kings had also had, I believe, they had given up 17 points off of a certain amount of turnovers. It wasn't terrible, but it was a lot of points off of the turnovers that they had given up. And to your point, Doug Christie never turned to the Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan lineup until 9 minutes and change in the fourth quarter. They went a 7-minute span, Grant, scoring 6 points.
Yep.
6 points.
Right, they got
Predictable.
out 54-40 in the second half as a team.
The energy wasn't there to start the third quarter.
Yep.
They battled back.
Yep.
But the end of games, it's unexplainable. It's so predictable. It's a movie you have seen over and over. The only difference is there's an alternate ending when DeMar DeRozan makes the shot.
I'll tell you what it is. It's terrible coaching. That's what it is. I mean, you just got to call it the way it is. It's a horrible job of coaching. There's no other explanation. There's no other way to come down with it. It is a horrible job of rotations by Doug Christie, period. Horrible.
But it's Grant. That's the thing. The rotations weren't bad until the game is on the line.
Well, that's when most every game in the NBA is decided is in the final 5 to 7 minutes.
Correct. But and that's what makes it all the more confusing. Now, I'm working under the assumption Malik Monk's completely out of the picture. And by the way, pro's pro. Center court, chopping it up with Anthony Davis, having fun, looking well, not showing a sour face. So he's out of the picture, but Doug he had okay rotation. Doug McDermott played a little bit. That would be the only thing. Other than that, it's just it's I don't know how else to say it, but a security blanket.
Can you imagine
Malik Monk's?
Can you imagine Malik Monk's reaction? Doug McDermott's getting into the game before him, and I don't mean to slight Doug here. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, I think Malik Monk's beyond that point. I mean, we don't have confirmation, but clearly he is out of the Kings' plans. And Nick Clifford, it's just this avalanche of mistakes that happens. Nick Clifford has a couple of bad plays, which leads to a bad shot, which leads to a bad end of the quarter. And so on and so forth. But
hey, New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Water heaters, water line repair, sewer repair, water filtration, gas lines. Call the number on your screen or newworksplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Glad to have you on the post-game show. We're not going to go that long tonight because obviously it is late. Let's get to Gary. Gary, you are on with Grant here and Ryno. Go ahead, Gary.
What's up, guys? I hope you can see my Christmas tree back there because I'm wishing for next year for a new coach and a new owner.
Hey, it's January 7th, right?
Yeah, I'm just
just curious.
Way ahead. But besides that, Grant, I was listening to you on my way home today, and you were talking about why Malik's not playing.
Yep.
I think I know why.
Why?
Vivek's triggered because Fox and Monk are best friends.
Has nothing to do with that.
Stop. Gary.
No,
Gary.
He's mad because Fox forsaked him, and
he's not mad. It's a non-story. He's not mad. They're not as good of friends as you think. They're not enemies, but it's a non-story. So you're absolutely wrong, Gary. I'm sorry.
Why is he not playing him though?
Well, it has nothing to do with De'Aaron Fox and his friendship or lack thereof. It has nothing to do with it.
Well, he's obviously better than Levine and half the guys that he's playing. I don't understand.
I don't know if he's better than Levine. I don't know if I would go that far, but he's certainly better than players that are playing in front of him. That's for sure.
I agree with that. I'm just wondering why he's not playing.
Yeah, all of us do. Thank you, Gary. Have a good evening. We appreciate the phone call, but it has nothing to do with De'Aaron Fox. I can tell you that right now.
No, nothing. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Let's stop it here. All right, let's get to Gunther. Gunther, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? I was going to say Happy New Year, but I don't want to say it anymore. But
it's okay.
Don't let them ruin your New Year. Come on, man. Happy New Year, Gunther.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I was just going to ask you guys about Zach LaVine. It looks like the Bucks are closely, like monitoring the situation. So that's what I said online. But do you guys think that there could be some kind of deal worked out before the deadline?
I personally think it's unlikely.
I mean,
Okay.
there could be a deal. Absolutely. I mean, you have to look at a number of factors, what somebody might do in front of them, what somebody might do behind them.
Right.
The temperature of Giannis Antetokounmpo, is he going to stay? Is he giving them any indications? So I could see Milwaukee or another team making a move. Yeah.
Okay. And what about Trey Young? Do you guys see him not coming to the
No.
Kings? I don't think about the Kings at all because I don't think that's the direction they should head in. But what do you guys think about the Detroit Pistons? Do you think that would be a good pickup for him? Because
No.
if
Detroit's the best team in the East. The last thing they need is Trey Young. He doesn't fit in at all with their team.
like for Jaden
No.
Ivey, I think that's a good trade because the front court is pretty good in Detroit. You know, they could actually defense.
Trey Young would destroy that team.
Like they could hide him on defense, is what I'm saying.
Detroit would be destroyed with a Trey Young on their team. He would destroy that team.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you're looking at suitors for Trey Young, you need to stare right at Minnesota and Washington. Those are
Yep.
the two teams that I would be looking at.
Hey, don't forget about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. They are moving with their phases, doing very well out there. These models are beautiful. 6 to choose from. No Mellorews, no homeowners. Remember, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club, I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20 will all get you to beautiful Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Make sure you go to CalusaSunrise.com. That's CalusaSunrise.com and check out everything at beautiful Sunrise Landing. This is a Blazona development project. Again, Sunrise Landing in Calusa. We welcome you to the postgame show. If you're just joining us, Grant and Ryno, my thanks to Jerry Reynolds. We always enjoy having him on. And we say hello to Javier. Javier, go ahead.
How you doing today, Mr. Napier, Mr.
How are you,
Ryno? Happy
Javier?
New Year. I'm all
What's
right.
up,
Happy
Javier?
New Year.
Same
Happy
to
New
you.
Year, and thank you, sir. And fresh haircut you have there, Ryno. But I watched the game, and you know, I've for whatever reason still have interest in a team that I've loved since I was a young man when you were calling the games back in the '90s, Mr. Napier, and today's a perfect example. Kind of took my thunder, but 2:30 to 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Every player on the second unit's on the court, and I'm just thinking to myself, how in the world between Cardwell and Keon Ellis and Neek Clifford and everybody else on the bench, the 3-man sub that he put in, and the only one that didn't get in the back five was Malik Monk, is instead going to be replaced in the second unit with Doug McDermott also and Dennis Schroeder as the off guard, the second guard rather, out of that back five in the second unit for the point guard position. How in the world is Malik Monk not playing when everybody, instead of him coming and putting in Malik Monk, he puts in with Dennis Schroeder, Neek
You have to
Clifford,
put
Keon
Dennis
Ellis,
Schroeder in. Doug
and
Christie really
Dylan
doesn't have a
Cardwell.
choice there because
No, no,
that's
no.
Scott Perry's big free agent signing.
No.
And if he doesn't play Dennis Schroeder, it really makes Scott Perry look very bad because that was his big off-season splash for a ton of money. So he doesn't really have a choice. He's got to play Dennis Schroeder.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. What I'm saying is when you put in the back five of Schroeder, Ellis, Neek Clifford, and Dylan Cardwell, what I'm saying is instead of putting in Malik as the fifth reserve, you're going back to DeMar DeRozan, who, again, why is he coming in at a 37-year-old guard / forward who's way past, his prime, obviously still a good scorer, but nothing that's going to be provided to what he's doing as a second unit player and or with the second unit is going to complement what they're trying to do. But what's just so astonishing, it's a shame, is I don't see how Christie and even Bobby Jackson to a certain extent don't remember what worked literally when they were assistant coaches on the Beam team. Like, how can you sit there and say at 8-29, you don't remember what Malik Monk did to the Warriors in 7 games? How do you not remember what he did as a reserve 6th man of the year candidate, if not the winner, but he got, hosed by Naz Reid and as a starter? Most importantly, and I went through every game, the 37 games. This is the 8th game. This is the 8th game, Mr. Napier and Mr. Ryno. 8th game that they lost, that they should have won with Mike. This might be a stretch to you, but I don't care. I went through all the games. This is the 8th game they should have won with a competent head coach like Mike Brown. This isn't a 25-win basketball team, but this team should at least have 16 wins right now and 21 losses. This is 8 losses due to coaching. 8 losses to coaching.
Let's go.
And you're telling me, Mr. Christie, Coach Jackson, you don't remember the formula for how this team worked? Yeah, they're not going to be like they had with De'Aaron Fox. They won't be that successful, especially with Sabonis. But there's 8 teams that they should have won against, and they should have had 8 games that they
Well,
should
first
have
of all,
won victories with
it's
this
not Bob,
roster,
it's
and
not
they're
Bob
8
Jackson's
wins.
decision, but
Well, what
I
I'm saying is
understand
they're
your
part of
point.
that staff, though. He was on that staff when he was the head developmental coach at Stockton Kings coach. That's what I'm saying, rather, sir. That's so clear.
All right, hang on for a minute.
Javier.
Hang on for a minute. Go ahead, Ryno.
No, go ahead, Grant. I'll
No,
follow you.
Javier, thank you for the call. You made some good points. Appreciate that. Listen, there is no excuse. There is no valid reason. There's nothing that you're going to be able to tell me that makes sense that Malik Monk is not playing unless, well, and this can't happen in this day and age, unless he's got an injury they're not disclosing. But with the gambling allegations and how the NBA has cracked down on that, that's not happening. It's just the coach's decision. It's an organizational decision.
Yeah, I think it's the back part. I think you just nailed it. Javier, I love your energy. Nothing that you said is wrong, but I think you and we all, as a fan base, need to realize Malik Monk is not in the Kings' future plans as we sit right now on January 6th, 2026.
He wasn't in the
Period.
plans
End
the
of
day
story.
Scott Perry walked in the door.
What, Grant, that argument could certainly be made as well. What I'm trying to get across is whether they feel like he's the most valuable piece they can move, whether there's something else we don't know. He is not in the plans. And Chris Haynes, who came on your show when I hosted when you were out on Friday, made a really good point. Some of the few times we've seen Malik come in these last 7-8 games is when the crowd at home has pushed back. And it's been for 4 minutes. It's been for 6 minutes. So
Yeah.
it smells. It starts at the head of the fish. But from a basketball reason, there is none that we can give you.
Nope.
You need to turn to the Kings and ask for a reason, or at least at the very minimum, assume that Malik Monk is not on this roster come the trade deadline.
Here's the question that needs to be asked to Doug Christie. Coach, how come you refuse to play one of your best players on a nightly basis in Malik Monk? That's how the question should be.
Well, okay.
And then the follow-up question should be, are you trying to win games? If you're trying to win games, how come Malik Monk's not playing? That should be the question.
I don't disagree with you, but Doug has tied this into the youth movement, right? That's
He's
what
27.
Grant, I know, but he's talking
Russell
about
Westbrook's 37. DeMar DeRozan's 36. Dennis Schroeder's 32. He's 27.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that is the built-in excuse to say we're trying more Keon, we're trying more Neek to tuck away the Monk issue, and that's what he's going to. But now it's gone far enough to see that's not working, right? And you still continue to go back to the veterans when the game is even close to on the line, and you ride and die with them, even if they score 6 points in 7 minutes on national television. It's crazy. You can't make it up. I think we all agree.
All right. Oh my God.
Malik Monk deserves better.
Yeah, so. You're absolutely right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mr. Reed, we get to you next. Go ahead.
Hey fellas, I'm back, man. I appreciate y'all.
How are you?
I'm all right. How you guys doing this evening, man?
Very well. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, man. I got to come back and see my peoples, man. After the show, I check in with y'all immediately. So, thanks for having me on again. But man, I'm just so frustrated because it definitely doesn't seem like they're trying to win. Because how you not have Doug McDermott in the game, drawing up a play for either him, Zach LaVine, or Monk for a 3-point shot to tie the game? Like, you're going to try to you could give the ball to DeMar DeRozan, and then everyone's like really stagnant. I noticed about the Kings too. They don't really share the ball well. LaVine was on a fast break, and he had, I think, Keon Ellis on the other side of him. He could have easily passed him. He went up for a layup. Thank God he made it. But I just noticed things like that. They don't really share well. It's like everyone's just getting their points off on this team. Like, I'm going to get my 20 points, and then, I'm going to just stand around, or I don't know. It's just been frustrating lately to watch the offense kind of be a little bit stagnant at a lot of the times. And then, Russell Westbrook, everybody's just standing around looking at him. And like, of course, he's like, okay, well, what do I do? I guess I got to take this shot. LaVine should be calling for the ball. Like, hey, give me the ball. Give me the ball. You're getting paid $50 million. You're supposed to be our high scorer. Don't let Russell Westbrook shoot the ball. call for the ball, get aggressive, go to foul, get a foul or something. I don't know. Sorry for the rant, fellas.
No,
Hey, it's all good.
you're good. I think what's sad is we're seeing some guys settle into some different roles and doing it very well. And that's
Uh,
all being overshadowed by the back end of everything we've already talked about on this show.
yeah.
Max Reynolds was excellent tonight on
Yeah, it was
defense.
good.
Oh yeah.
We knew he would be pretty good offensively. We
Yeah,
thought
Hmm.
that so far to this point. I didn't think he was going to be as far along as he is
I agree.
defensively. Precious
For
Achua
sure.
has been excellent as well. And the other guy that I'm going to throw in there, believe it or not, is Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder has settled in the last 3-4 games as the leader of that second unit. And that
Yeah, he
second
likes
unit
that
has
role.
looked good. The ball is moving. It's just
Hmm.
everything else when the game's on the line.
So,
So
Reno, real quick. So with Maxine doing so well, do you hang on to Sabonis, or you just try to get rid of him at the deadline? What do you do?
You play them
uh,
together.
absolutely. Yes.
Play them together? Who would you have?
Absolutely.
You'd have Max at the 5 and then Sabonis at the 4, or flip them?
You would have Max probably at the 4. You'd run Sabonis at the 5 because Max looks a little more comfortable on the perimeter than Domas. You can still put
I
Domas
agree.
in positions to pass the basketball and be effective. And then when you have a healthy Keegan Murray, you slide Keegan in at the 3.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good lineup, honestly, because you
Riddy,
can
thank
do this
you.
still at the dribble handoff at the top with the key with Sabonis, and they can have Maxime Reynolds in the corners for if they need them to shoot.
Reedy, thank you for the call. Happy New Year.
Appreciate you fellas, likewise, man.
Appreciate you too,
Yep.
buddy. Thank you very much. We get to NBA guru Zach. What's up, Zach?
How you guys doing?
What's up, Zach?
What's up,
Long
dude?
time no speak.
Yeah, it's been a while. The season's just been just dragging a little bit, but I got two questions and then a statement here. I want to just talk about quickly Devin Carter. Do you guys know what the reason is for just not giving him 10 minutes a game just to see what we got with him? Like, I mean, he's been playing pretty well in G League. Been following that a little bit. Like, he's doing decent there. Why can't we just get like 5-10 minutes for the youth movement, stuff like that,
5
to get
minutes
him on the
doesn't do
court?
any good. You either play him or you don't play him. 5 minutes is a waste of time. You either play him or you don't play him.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for like 10 minutes a game. Whoa, how come we can't even get that?
Coach's decision, organizational decision, a make no sense franchise.
Zach, I've said this on the radio the last week. I am giving them enough grace until after the trade deadline. If we are still having these conversations 5-10 games after the trade deadline about the same stuff with guys that are still here, it's really, I think things are going to turn, and it's going to turn with the media too. They're going to rip into him because that is exactly, Grant, the time that you start playing Devin Carter.
And then for the Monk situation, do you guys think there's some? I feel like there's some. It's kind of similar to the Kaminga situation, something like a handshake, but behind the doors. That hey, we're not gonna try to get you injured or anything, and we'll try to get you out of here by the trade deadline. Maybe even for Kaminga, but in general, just getting him
If
out of
that were
here.
the case, DeMar DeRozan wouldn't be playing and Zach LaVine wouldn't be playing.
Yeah, that's
Look,
fair too.
I think that based off of what I have heard, there's a couple of teams that have interest in a player that fits Malik Monk's role. That doesn't mean that it's Malik Monk, but they've reached out. We've seen some reports start to trickle out. A couple of teams, specifically Minnesota and Detroit. So you also have the Kaminga thing, as you said, Zach. That's, you never know. That's been in the talks for a while, and that got hung up on a pick. But I don't think it's a backdoor. Hey, we're going to save him for you, because right now the Golden State Warriors have a massive problem in the paint. They're last in the NBA in points in the paint per game.
And then appreciate. And then one last thing, I just wanted to say, like, I know like everyone's frustrated with his team and stuff like that for the whole season, how the coaching's gone and all that. But in my eyes, like this is like the best case scenario, way better than like getting a 32 win team, 35 win team and going nowhere. We're gonna have a good shot at getting a top 5 pick with a loaded draft class. I feel pretty happy about that. So I just wanted to give some optimism because there's been a lot of negativity and stuff like that. But like, I mean, this is like we could get a franchise changing player in the top 5, and that's something to look forward to. And yeah, just
Thank
wanted
you,
to know
Zach.
that. Yeah.
All right, take care. Hey, I want to tell you about, of course, Bennett's Prime Seafood and Steaks. Awesome. Whether it is Sacramento, Roseville, or the West Side Grill, go to bennettsrestaurants.com. That's bennettsrestaurants.com. Check out everything they have to offer. Make a reservation. Again, Prime Seafood and Steaks at Bennett's, bennettsrestaurants.com. Final thoughts tonight?
Happy hour at Bennett's ends every day. That ends with a Y. I want a big martini from Bennett's. I want happy hour from Bennett's right now. Just Grant, I'm not personally frustrated. I am frustrated for this fan base.
I'm
You had a
too.
fan base that like it almost gets me emotional to have this bad of a product, this inconsistent of a product, this dysfunctional of a product, and to still have this place rocking just for a 9th win, late game, national
Yep.
TV.
Yep.
You know, I know Doug loves this city, but the work product is not reflecting
No.
what they deserve. And I am frustrated for all of you. Let's hope that changes and they've got a plan
Yep.
up until the deadline.
Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Fox Sports Sacramento, Fox Sports Radio 104.7 FM. Download the Fox Sports KSAC app. That's tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Ryno, drive home safely.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.
Late night.
Late night.
Wow. Late night. All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye.